We're back, bitches.
Can you talk during this?
You can.
Oh.
It'll be in there. I mean,
So that's 100%.
I mean, maybe they won't fast forward through it.
Oh my god. Well, Laura said it was too long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it short.
Well,
So those of you that are listening,
Al's gonna butcher the intro
yeah,
anyway,
whatever.
so don't
I
worry
already
about
butchered it once.
Oh man.
God damn. Welcome to Car House. This is the Three Pedal Podcast. My name's Al. I have Dan and Mike with me, and our guest is Greg Tonseth, Audi technician. I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
It's been a long week, I think, for
Yeah,
everybody, guys.
Yeah,
So
this is, I forgot what I was going to bring up. Dan had sent me a video to a company that was remaking the Jesse's Jetta from the Fast and Furious
Yeah.
from DAP Auto.
Yep. Deutsche Auto Parts. I checked that out. Definitely worth looking into. Watching, they have like a 5-episode series where they basically take a Mark III, they swap a Mark 7 GTI motor into it, and they put the body kit on and do like ice blast the whole car.
Yeah, I was just say they cleaned off the floor completely.
Yep. Working DSG,
Yep.
custom drive shafts, like a lot more work than I anticipated. Because sometimes you think the 4-cylinder is just going to bolt in. But
Yeah, I saw they had to molest the hole a little bit for where the shift tower came up through.
Yep. There was a lot of custom stuff, and then the humble mechanic, what's that guy? Charles. Yes, Charles. He did a lot of the wiring and stuff like that. So they sorted out what was needed out of the Mark 7 with all the modules and everything laid out, and kind of just started unplugging stuff to see if it would still start. So it was pretty interesting to watch that series, and obviously, you saw a couple of episodes.
I watched the one long video, and you watched, I think.
I watched all of it. I
Yeah.
sat down and I was like, I'm hooked, and I think it was like 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
It was awesome.
there's
though.
nothing better than a good YouTube hole.
Yeah,
I
they do some cool projects. They've done a Scirocco 24 valve, I believe. They did a Cabrio with a 5-cylinder swap. Yep. Those guys are pretty serious about like cool Volkswagen, Audi stuff.
I mean, they stripped that thing interior, exterior.
Yep. And then
redid all the subframes.
Charles did a RS3 swapped.
Yeah, his Golf R
Mark
that got
7
totaled.
Golf R
Yeah.
that had the wide body and everything. Super cool. Cool. Definitely worth checking out.
Out of the door. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of YouTube like you two do. Like,
I don't really watch it that much, but
I
once in
don't
a
either.
while. Yeah.
I've got like my pages
Like,
that I
I've-
follow and watch. Like we've talked about that.
I've
So
been
it's
over
like
your house.
like legit street cars, Tavarish got suckered into that Matt Armstrong, which is hilarious because he does great work, but Shauna cannot listen to him with how bad his British accent is. But there's a couple other pages that I watch pretty religiously. It's almost like going back to the days of being a kid and like the Saturday morning car shows and stuff like that. It's basically the same things. A lot of them release on, Saturday mornings or Friday nights or something like that. So you end up catching it. Like we've watched Stay Tuned, Tony Angelo making his comeback there.
Justin got me into watching him on I don't remember
His
what
stuff's
it was.
like I'll go through phases with his channel. Like I'll watch it, but it's like I'm not really into the muscle car like hot rod stuff, so like I don't watch a lot of that. But then the oddball stuff that he does, like he bought like an 85 Dodge Caravan and a wrecked SRT4 and slapped a dump truck turbo on it, and he's like
awesome.
building a turbo minivan.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that's cool. And he's had some other like projects. He was putting an Aston Martin V12 in a Fox Body Mustang, stuff like that. That was, kind of got me hooked to watching the whole series. But
yeah,
there's good stuff out there. But
stuff.
definitely Charles Page, Humble Mechanic, and the
Deutsche Auto
the
Parts.
DAP YouTube pages are two of my recurring.
And they also have they have a lot of tools available on their site, Deutsche Auto Parts. They have good parts as well. Like, I mean,
yeah, he's not stocking garbage.
They have a shop, so they know what it's like.
What they
it's
need
like.
every day.
Actually, when I did my Golf R Mark 7 Golf R build, I built the whole engine and everything from kind of like engines we had lying around kind of at the shop. And they did a comparison video between like all the 2 liters. So when I was using different parts, I was like, okay, well, what's the difference between like a Golf R head and a GTI head? Because I ended up using a GTI head with a secondary. I had a custom secondary air block off plate because that was really the biggest difference between the Mark 7 GTI and Golf R motor. Is one of them has secondary air, the Golf R's don't. So we had to block it off for the GTI cylinder head. I ended up using SuperTech valve train, retainers, springs, all that stuff anyways. So it was like, really, I'm just using the casting. And it was like, I wanted to build it on the cheap, but still make close to 500 horsepower. So I ended up using that. And there was a video that they put out explaining all the differences. The other difference is just the aluminum. They have a higher silicon content in the Golf R. Of the metal. Yep. So it dissipates heat a little better in the Golf R, but I figured, what's the worst that's going to happen? If it blows up, then I'll just build another motor, but I don't think it will, so, but that was cool. Cause that was information he broke it all down, and like, I can look at part numbers and stuff, but he like really went into depth on what the differences were between the Golf R. The Golf R motor is also made in, Germany, whereas the GTI motors are made in Mexico. So I did end up using a Golf R block, but
look on the bright side. If it blows up, you can just blame Al and I because we're the ones that helped you drop it into the car. So you just blame us.
No, we should be good, hopefully.
No, that should about cover everything else. We'll get into Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Hi.
Hi, Greg.
So, Audi technician. How long you been at Audi?
I've been at Audi for just over 11 years now.
Damn. What were you doing before that?
I was at Independence.
Okay. That the whole time, never first time at a dealer?
Yep.
Was it Volkswagen, Audi specific, or?
Nope. I was the guy with the Volkswagens and Audis, though, that was at the Independent.
You were the oddball that they made fun of?
Yes. Yep.
So they sent you all the work that they didn't want to touch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then so, it's just kind of a natural progression that, I fit in pretty easily.
How did you get?
Yeah,
how did you get into cars? Were you a mechanic before you were an enthusiast? Because I know you're both. But
that's kind of where I was leading. Like, what made you want to actually work on the cars? Like, was it a specific car that got you?
Well, first I was just too cheap to pay anybody to,
been there,
fix my cars. So I just kind of got used to working on them, and it became a hobby. And then the hobby kind of just turned into a career, and sidelines my hobby. So that's why it took me so long to build my GTI.
Been there. Yeah, that's kind of how I started out, just working on my own stuff, and ended up getting a job at Honda doing recon. And then one of the guys in the corner got a DWI, and he was getting fired. So I walked up to the manager.
You were the new mechanic.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, if you're looking to replace him, like, I want his spot. Like, I can work on my own car. Like, I know the basics.
Yeah, we're just letting a kitty out of the room, so don't worry about it.
The cat wanted to go. But I've done basic stuff. I can, learn essentially. And that's how I got into it.
Yeah. Same way for me. But
did you, so let's backtrack a little bit. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into cars? And like I said, were you a mechanic before you were an enthusiast, or what was your first car?
My first car was an '89 Honda Civic hatchback.
Nice.
Al's frothing at the moment.
Yeah, drooling a little bit.
Just so happened it was an SI, so it had the 1.6, and I lowered it, put wheels on it, because the car guy was always the cool guy when, you're younger.
Yep.
And, painted the, vents yellow because, it was the 90s. And yeah. And then after that, my next 3 cars were Civics.
Oh, no kidding. So you were a Honda guy.
Yeah. Just kind of by default.
Yeah.
I mean, you were in the 90s, you were one or the other. You were either Volkswagen or a Honda guy.
Yeah.
Did you modify them?
Yep.
Yeah.
The last one was supercharged, and then I put nitrous on it, and didn't know what I was doing because I was 17 and I blew it up. And then I ended up getting an S10 Blazer for the winter.
Nice.
And then came spring, I was sick of driving an SUV. Ended up trading it for an 88 16 valve GTI.
Not the one that you have now.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It was a red one. I don't know if you remember that one, but it was a long time ago.
I just remember the silver one. The one you have now.
I don't know what you had when I bought a set of Recaros off you when I first
Those
met
came
you.
out of my silver GTI.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because you were friends with, I call him Single Speed, but Brian Valancourt.
Brian Valancourt. Yep.
Yep.
I still have Bill Valancourt's 240SX in my backyard.
Oh, you ended up with that?
Yeah.
The uphill. The uphill car. How'd you end up with it?
He needed a place to put it.
Oh,
when they were selling it's
it's still his.
I don't own it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just been in my yard for a decade.
So when his parents sold the house.
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. I kind of always wondered what happened to that. He blew up a couple SR20s in it.
Yeah, it has a blown up SR20 in it now, and I have the other blown up SR20 in my garage. Which
so you ended up with everything.
So there you go. So him and Shane have in common a 240 SX planter in their backyard.
Yeah.
Hopefully mine will move soon.
Bill and I originally did that swap, I don't even know, 25 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it was...
So I'm assuming you were friends with Bill first.
I knew him just because we lived near each other, and then we ended up working together.
Yeah.
So, and then we just, we're friends from there.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. All right. So I had a question. We're not too far apart in age. When you were modifying cars in the 90s, early 2000s, where would you get your parts from? Like, what was like it was hard. Like, it wasn't like it is now. You can just go online and order a set of springs or coilovers. And like, I did a lot of junkyard hunting.
Yeah, we did a lot of junkyard modifications. That's what me and my friend Jay actually kind of got known for, like the junkyard upgrades. But back then, there was Pro Street Unlimited.
Yep. Kevin D'Amelio.
Yep. And then there was actually a shop in the mall, Driving Style.
I forgot about Driving Style.
Was that Pheasant Lane Mall?
It was in the Manchester Mall.
Oh, there was one in Nashua.
I think there was one in Nashua too.
Was there?
Yeah. But I forgot about Driving Styles.
Yeah. That was cool.
There was Eurosport in Merrimack too. Like, I don't know when that went out, but
I actually have the sign that used to hang out in front of that place.
How'd you end up with that?
I found it at the Hollis Flea Market.
What?
Wow.
I went walking by and I saw it and I was like, no way. And the guy wanted like $15 for it. So I was like,
and like, it was the street sign?
Like a hand carved piece of wood. It's a Rolls Royce.
Yeah. Like
this big with the, the hood ornament and.
Wow.
And
awesome.
I was like, yeah, I bought it. And then he's like, all right. He's like, now you want to tell me about it? And so I told him what it was. And it's just been sitting in my storage.
That's awesome.
That's a steal for $15.
Yeah, no shit.
That's awesome.
No, we used to, I bought coilovers or lowering springs there and lower lips and grills and lights.
That's actually where all the work that my silver GTI got was done there with the previous owner.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manchester Volkswagen ended up buying the building. So when I was at Manchester Volkswagen in 2004, they were selling it or something happened and they had to clean it out and they ended up taking everything that was stored there and bringing it to Volkswagen. So it was old like flyers and they had like random parts, strut bars and this and that. And I was trying to like get my hands on some of it and they were like, nope. Can't do anything. Nobody can touch it. They just put it above the building somewhere, and I don't know what happened to it after that.
Oh, yeah, it's like a tractor place now,
isn't
it?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the cars that you own now and sort of the story around the silver car and the length of the build process?
Currently own 2 Mark II GTIs. Just picked up a Mark II Jetta for the wife. She dailies a Honda Fit, and then I have an Audi Q5 and then an Audi Q7 also that are just kind of the dailies. Oh, and a Mark V GLI.
Nice. And the silver car.
The silver GTI.
Yes.
The 20-year project.
Is that how long you've had it?
I bought that car in 2003.
Wow. Okay, that's a long time.
I mean, if you remember that car in Nashua.
I do.
When you were 16.
Yeah. So just a little backstory. I was in high school and Greg was probably one of the reasons I got into Volkswagens in the first place. Because I think you probably had the nicest car out of all of them. All the kids that
I think so.
There was a house. So there was a house in Nashua across from, it was in a neighborhood across from Tully.
Okay. Yep.
And
like behind Infinity.
Yeah.
Infinity's on
Main Street.
Yeah, so it was behind like Chevy, like
Toyota, Chevy, that whole neighborhood.
Other side.
That whole
auto
mile.
Yeah. So I used to hang out with, like, I don't even know if it was just like my sister was friends with like like I think it might have been like Turcotte. Remember Mike Turcotte, and he was friends with a very like the same group of people, and they were all into cars. So like all the younger siblings, myself included, got into cars as well because all of our older brothers and sisters were, had friends who were into cars, and a lot of them Volkswagens and Audis and stuff like that. More Volkswagens than less Audis for sure.
Yeah, definitely all Volkswagens.
But
back then, I
but
think.
there was a house, and you'd roll up and it would be like 5 slammed Volkswagens and it was awesome. It was like a Fast and the Furious house for German cars. You know what I mean? And at the time, I had that Porsche 944, so it was like pretty cool to like. They were like, "You're an idiot for buying this," and like you should have bought a Volkswagen, which I ended up eventually getting, but. I do remember when the first time I saw your silver Mark II, I was like, holy shit. It looked like something from Europe, like just the way that it was like the body was clean. And I had never seen an old car like that in silver. You know what I mean? Because you see you'd see Mark IIs rarely. Even then it was like a couple of our friends had them, but most of those guys had Mark IIIs.
Yeah, mostly 3s back then.
Yeah, and
early 2000s.
But to see like a perfect clean Mark II, it was like holy. And I think you had like orange wheels on it at one point.
I did at one point. It was
Koenig Ultralights or something.
I got them cheap at the place I was working, and just went for the most absurd color I could find.
Yeah.
Which later on I would find absurd seats that would have matched.
So you still have the car. That was back when I was in high school.
I still have the car. It wasn't originally silver. It's actually a Mark III color. It's Silver Arrow.
Okay.
Originally it was Tornado Red.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was resprayed a long time ago.
It was resprayed a long time ago. The previous owner, back in the early 2000s, he had it, and he had like 17-inch wheels on it. They were actually Nietzsche Pultex. I remember them. And then the car got stolen.
Okay.
And they found it in Haverhill on the side of the road, laying on the brakes, and the wheels and the seats were missing. So then when he got it back, that's when he did a full out color change, put one rabbit seat in it, and then it sat for years, and then I bought it.
I'm kidding. Okay. And it was just a naturally aspirated 16 valve back then.
Yeah, just a 2016.
Yep. And now 20 years later.
Yeah, now it's an ABA 16 valve turbo.
Yep.
Which it went quite the undertaking. It got a little out of hand. So like, I took the car down to a shell. I ended up building a rotisserie in my parents' garage and flipped it sideways and took off everything from the floor, all the sound deadening, everything, fixed any rot, any, rust, and then resealed it. Went through everything, did like the semi-shaved bay, like the OEM Plus look. And when you work on cars for 10 hours a day, it's tough to go into the garage after work to work on it.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last week.
His Mark II's going on 8 years?
I was told last week that I'll have it back by the end of April. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the body back. Then he's gonna start working on the doors, the hood.
No, it took me close to 20 years to get it on the road.
Yeah.
And it's driving pretty well now, though, right?
You took
it to a few shows last year.
Yeah, I put about 800 miles on it last year. And then this year we, over the winter, changed to a Mark III fuel tank and ripped the intake manifold off to change it to try to run a hood.
Yeah, because you had a welded 16 valve manifold.
Yeah, it was a cut and flip 16 valve manifold, but the throttle body poked out too high.
Yeah.
So with the charge pipe, I couldn't fit a hood.
Let's explain the cut and flip manifold.
So the manifolds usually have 4, large tubes that run up, around, and over the valve cover. So that was, that just go to a plenum. So that was cut off and just put on the front. So it just had 4 little short pipes.
Oh, so you kind of made your own short runner?
Yeah.
Okay. It looked cool.
Yeah.
It looked cool.
It looked cool, but with the ABA block, it was too tall.
Okay.
So we chopped that off and, welded in some aluminum. And so now it'll run a VR6 throttle body because the original 16 valve throttle bodies are oval. So it really sat up high.
Yeah.
So it's at powder coat right now. So
nice. So you think it'll drive better?
It actually drove really well.
Yeah. But, and you have what management?
It's MS3 Pro.
Okay.
Mega Squirt.
Yep.
So and just really tuned by me and Rich.
Yeah. I got the opportunity to drive his car the other day.
Yeah, Rich's.
And he knew that I drove it because he has it all logged. And he's like, oh, you
really?
hit 6,500.
Oh, Jesus.
He's like, did it kick sideways on you? And for anyone listening, Rich has
his tires are getting pretty down there.
2.7 single turbo from an Audi S4 in the center rear of a Mark I Rabbit, and it is absolutely maniacal. I just drove it. It has terrible tires on it right now.
Yes.
I actually pulled it out of the garage because he stored it at my house over the winter, and there was a little bit of snow. So I had to get it, like Kim and I had to push it because it was just spinning. It was doing a burnout in this little bit of snow. But I took it out on the road and I was like, oh, he's coming to get it right now. I'm like, I'm going to go drive it real quick, just down the road. And I didn't even like goose it like hard, but it was like, dude, that thing's pretty scary. Yeah. Like, I'm sure if I hammered that thing, it would be a handful for sure.
Well, it's probably 450, 500 horsepower in a car that maybe weighs 2,000 pounds.
It might be more than that. Like, it might be like 600.
Well, he's never had it like professionally tuned. It's
his
just
tune.
Him. Yeah. Like, and that Rabbit originally was a 1.8T.
Right, and he used to drag race it,
mid-engine.
Right? Yep.
And then we blew it up. Well, that was the tune that we just uploaded to my car. Okay. We just took his 1.8T tune and said, ooh, same size injectors. Mine's a 2-liter, close enough. And then we just kind of tweaked it from there.
Yep.
And
so how are you guys tuning? Or do you have like a wideband that you're just keeping an eye on fuel trims and stuff like that? Or?
Yeah. There's a wideband, and then there's a fuel table, and you can just kind of
play around with it.
Give it, more or less here and there.
Yep. So. Brian as well. Our friend Brian is pretty crazy. He's got a rear engine VR6 Mark II turbo that's insane. And he does his own tuning as well.
He was heavily inspired by Rich.
Yeah.
By Rich's car. He was like, I saw your car, and he's like, I knew I needed to move my engine from the front into the back.
I mean, it was crazy before with the front engine VR6 turbo.
And he did it in like basically outdoors over the course of a winter.
Yeah, he's a
so what, he just did all the metal work himself, cut everything up?
Like on jack stands in his driveway with like a roof and 2 walls, like not even like no heat, no.
Wow. Well, Ryan did their all-wheel drive conversion on his Mark III on the ground.
Yeah.
Like he just crawled underneath it and cut the pockets out. And I think at one point he rolled it over, but it I don't know, it worked, but it wasn't what he expected, I don't think.
Yeah, I won't even get near a car if I don't have a lift. At this point, I'm like, nah, I will buy a lift before I work on a car on the ground. Like,
it's really nice.
I would, these people, I'm like, get a max jack. They're like $1,000. You slide it underneath. At least it gets it off the ground.
Yeah.
I hate jack stands. I hate floor jacks. I mean, once in a while, if you're doing something like, it's okay. But like you said, when you're working on cars all day long, it's like, I want the perfect environment.
Yeah.
And it has to be like, I have to be in the mood, to want to work on it.
No, I get that.
No,
I know. It's going to be tough when I clean out the garage and can actually work on it.
Well, that's why I said you got to organize, because like right now I've got this week off. I'm going to be working on Adam's Rabbit all week. If anybody wants to drop in, hang out, give me a hand, whatever. Yep. And the garage is spotless right now. I organized all my tools. I'm like, this is perfect opportunity to line everything up and get it, knocked out. So I think I'm going to do the brakes and the try to get it's got a hydraulic clutch setup. So I got to weld, I think you weld the steering column, like somewhere there's like a tab you have to weld on so that you can mount.
Oh, because it doesn't have a regular reservoir.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably post some photos of that.
Willward?
It was some company in the UK, I believe. I forget the name of them, but I did a bunch of research because
he bought, right?
They do sell a few different versions, the hydro setups for those cars. And we were gonna do a cable clutch, like, the adapter, but I'm like, it's a VR6 turbo. Like, just, it needs a hydraulic clutch.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like it's gonna drive way better. So, but yeah.
I don't know if you two know, but that rabbit actually used to be mine back in the day.
Right. No, that was when we were at Dan's house for the cookout. You guys were in the garage and you were looking at, I can't remember if it was the VIN or something like that, but you were like, no, this is my car.
Yeah, which is weird because I sold it to a kid in the Navy who brought it to Rhode Island. And then like 7-8 years later, I see Adam picked it up and I was like, that's my car.
Yeah, so Adam's brother owned it and you were friends with Jeff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was red, and it had a 16 valve, and it has these custom door panels that you actually had made, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, from a guy in Oregon.
Fiberglass or something like that.
It's just like an ABS plastic.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever looked at the door panels on that.
It's going to be stripped out.
I've never seen that car other than the angle I see it at on the left.
up in the air.
Yeah, I've never seen it down.
Yeah, I lowered it like, oh man. It was like 2 years ago. I don't even think last year I touched it. The year prior, or maybe at the beginning of last year, I got the motor and the transmission in, and then I just worked on my Golf R. So, but he's serious about getting it done. He's got like a bunch of, I've got most of the parts, so it should be a pretty cool. But if, Rich or Brian come over, we might end up having to put the motor in the back. That'd be pretty badass. I think that would be a better weight distribution because right now with that VR, that's the one thing I don't love about it is like obviously the VR's it's built up, it's got Wassner pistons. I did it's been honed. It's a 2.9 now, but it's almost too much for a front wheel drive Rabbit. I think, in my opinion, it's pretty heavy. The body on that car is like so light that it's like, I just don't know how it's gonna handle with all that power.
Yeah, a lot of weight.
It's gonna be. I
Plus
guess
the car's stripped out.
So Ryan LeBlanc's turbo setup with the custom manifold that he had on his Mark III. It's got the same turbo, the precision turbo. So I got to work on fabbing up the exhaust and everything like that. But it's basically Adam bought that kit from Ryan. And he was saying that it was dynoed at around 350. So, I did build up the transmission as much as I could. He didn't want to do like a hardened straight cut gear set or anything like that. So we ended up, using the stock gearing. But, it's got like the pinion brace. It's got a limited slip, a wave track. So I'm like, I hope he doesn't have too grippy of tires because I feel like it's just either way.
Yeah,
it's got regular axles in it. I'm like, you might want to get like better axles,
at least OEM.
But everybody that I talk to,
at least the axle will break first before breaking.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because that's a lot of power for one of those 5 speeds that I don't know, it just wasn't designed for it. But like I said, we did everything we could as far as like, it has a TDI 5th too, which hopefully it doesn't blow up before he gets into 5th. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Rich actually jokes that he should have bought that Rabbit from me rather than the one that he bought, because the one that he bought was pretty rotten. So, but
the black car,
but we knew we were gonna cut the lower quarter out, the lower quarter inch out of the car.
Yeah.
So we didn't really care. But then he spent like 1.5 years doing body work. So, but we didn't want to cut up a good Rabbit, so that's why he didn't buy my car because the floors were clean.
He would have felt bad.
Yeah, because we didn't know if his car was going to work. It was just kind of a pipe dream. Just, years of talking about, hey, this would be cool. And then as it went on, it kind of got more specific to the point where it was like, this might actually work.
Yeah.
And
I'm assuming you had an extra motor laying around. So
no, we went and bought a B5 Passat and we took the drivetrain right out of that. It was a front track. And we took the engine drivetrain right out of that and just put it in the back of a Rabbit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And he was running like 10s in the quarter, right? At one point.
I'm not really sure. He ended up melting pistons.
Yeah.
And then we built a motor and then he did it again. And he was just running out of fuel constantly.
He's been through a couple 2.7s too, right?
Yeah, 5 or 6 of them.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's had some fun with that thing.
Well, like one of them was just like a high mileage, had like 250,000 miles, was just a free motor I got out of a car at work. And so that was the original we put in that, but it turned out that was just smoking and burning a ton of oil. So, then he, built that one, with some aftermarket pistons and somehow broke 5 of the ringlands.
Yep.
And so then we built another motor, put that in, and he did it again.
So he's on his...
And then Then we took another 2.7, and then all he did was rods and left the pistons stock pistons. And that's the one that's been in for.
That is a good
1,000 miles.
I feel like that's a pretty good. Like I've heard, so I built one 2.7 for a guy, actually, the guy that is painting Al's Mark II. I believe that car's still ripping.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a single turbo. He said he was projecting 600 horse. We just used cast pistons and forged rods.
I don't know if he ever got it retuned over like the base map.
He took me for a ride down in Maryland. That thing ripped.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think he drives it, but I feel like cast pistons are safe. You know, like the factory pistons are safe, and you don't really hear too many issues on those motors specifically.
2.7s don't blow up unless you cause it to.
Yeah.
Which like all like the 2.7 pages and forums, all those guys just told Rich, hey, just do rods.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
So that's what we did, and so far it's on like year 2.
That was a good 1.8T formula as well. You know, the 1.8Ts, like the 20 valves, you could literally just do rods. And like, that was the biggest thing everybody said, 300, 400 horse, you're going to bend a rod, you're going to throw a rod, whatever. So, most people would just drop in rods and then just crank the boost up, and they just hold.
Wow.
So I wanted to ask you, obviously, a little bit about working at Audi. We were just talking downstairs about how it's been slow for all of us as techs. It's been a little bit.
Every brand across the board, from what I hear.
Oh yeah, when the tool guys come in, they like it's like this everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, my Snap-on guy, I was just talking to him for 25 minutes the other day, and he's like, for me, it's been since August. He said that he's noticed there's been a change, like something's broken, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking about how everything nowadays seems so disposable. Like people aren't necessarily fixing their cars, they're just getting new ones, which is good for the industry as well. But at some point, sometimes it's like, hey, I don't care about this car. I'm not going to fix it because I'm just going to get a new one. But I don't know if that's the trend or because it doesn't seem like they're selling a lot of cars either. So
right. I mean, it definitely is a trend. I mean, my day-to-day in fleet management is I'm literally working with people to figure out, it's like, what's that break-even point? I mean, obviously it's different from like a standard consumer with their vehicle, right? If you have 2 vehicles, you're not looking at like a total cost of ownership and when should I cycle my vehicle out for like the highest return and yada, yada, yada. But that's where it is because, as vehicles are getting more complex, they're getting more expensive. It's harder to keep these vehicles on the road once they hit a certain point in age because you're running into the situation. And I mean, I've been out of dealership land for 5 years now, almost 6 years. Actually, shit, it's been 6 years. You're probably running into it now, especially with the Audi product. I mean, someone, if a screen were to die or something like that, or a digital dash and they want $4, $5, $6 grand to fix it, but the car's only worth $8 grand, you're not going to do it.
Yeah, no.
So it's like, I feel like you're getting
that might be
some
part
of that. But I mean, even to your point, talking about keeping the older cars on the road, I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but it's like, you had mentioned like, Volkswagen's not stocking parts. You can't even get Mark V parts anymore.
2016 the other day, couldn't get a window motor. We had to get one from Bow Auto Salvage.
Yeah. But I mean, even simple stuff. Like you texted me about the all-track suspension, asking me if I still had my springs because they were on like a 6-month back order and you couldn't get them.
You
and
can order them.
I still had.
They just never show up.
Right. So it's stuff like that. It's almost, you're battling the manufacturers, I feel like, to a degree because the service model of making money is really at the dealership level. It's not so much at the manufacturer level. They make their money by selling cars.
But you did say you're starting to pick up. I noticed a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed it like end of December it started to slow down. Like January was pretty slow. February was very slow.
Terrible.
And
do they give you guys guarantees down there?
No. Nope.
No flat rate guarantee.
Just flat rate.
Wow. So what do? Bang out if there's nothing?
Yeah, I mean, if there's nothing going on and there's no appointments, it'd be like, oh, all right, like I guess I'm going home at 3.
They don't give you shit. Like if it's like noontime and you got 2 left.
No, they don't care.
Yeah. You do preps though, pre-delivery inspections and used cars?
Nope.
Oh,
those all go to
go to the Hudson.
Those go to our Hudson warehouse.
Yep.
Oh wow.
If you don't know, we're part of the same dealer group, so we have like the same owners and whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, used car and preps are all done at our Hudson warehouse, and everything else comes to us.
Wow. Used cars?
No, used cars. Go to
Everything,
Hudson.
right?
Yep.
Wow. No, these. So here's the thing: we get all the shit used cars that BMW and Audi doesn't want. So all that high mileage, 100, 120K, they ship them all up to us, and then we frontline them, and they're most of the time they're shit boxes. There's a reason why you guys don't keep them or send them to auction. You know, they end up needing work.
Yeah. Sometimes they do come to our dealer. They'll use cars or the preps. Depends if the one guy in Hudson gets backed up.
Yep.
Then they'll bring them over to us.
So have you been leaving early because there's just not much to do, or are you
not very early? No.
Yeah.
You know, maybe like 4 instead of 5. But...
Yep. So you've been staying semi busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Busy enough to make a paycheck. Where.
Yeah. Right.
But you know, I feel like I'm really working for it now.
Yeah. I know it's I've talked to several people, independents as well, and they're like, it's slower than it's ever had. When I texted you, I was like, are you slow? And you're like, yeah, this is the slowest I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with me.
Even COVID wasn't this slow.
Yeah.
No. Which
and it's not just the German automakers.
It's everything.
It's from everybody I talk to is, you know, but I do think that tariffs probably have played a role in it as well. I mean, I priced out, so wheel bolts, 20 wheel bolts on a Volkswagen used to be about $100. They were like $5 a lug, right? It's $250 for a set now.
Wow.
So I'm assuming those are made in Germany. Because right now, steel, anything containing steel or aluminum
gets taxed
from Germany has a 50% tariff. It's 25 standard across the board, plus 25 if it contains steel or aluminum. So you're talking serious price hike. And I think that's definitely affecting things for sure in terms of new vehicle sales. I think the latest, I think I read, it was like new cars are $6,000 more expensive.
Yeah, just about. I mean, most of the stuff I'm dealing with is like cargo vans and stuff like that. But I mean, God, you got, you know, HVAC companies and stuff like that, like Ford Transits. They're 52 grand.
Wow.
Empty before they start.
Empty 52 grand. And then they're, you know, you're doing $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 in upfit on those things. But yeah, I mean, it's between the tariffs and, you know, throughout COVID, manufacturers realizing that people will pay sticker price for vehicles. People will do, you know, whatever to still get their new vehicles. We're just in that garbage upward trend that I don't think we're ever going to get out of.
We've definitely seen a lot more people fixing older vehicles.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's definitely gotten less than it was, you know, like
what's old?
You know, probably 2 or 3 years ago. Old, like 05, 06.
Oh, wow. Really? No kidding.
Like we've been getting a bunch of D3 A8s ever since like COVID.
Do you like working on them, or are they kind of a pain in the ass?
They're the newer ones are definitely easier.
Yeah.
But a lot of the parts are now, you know, no longer available for the D3s.
Yeah.
So then it's a hunt to try to either find them used or aftermarket or.
You had one for a long time, right? You owned one?
I did. Yeah.
And I remember talking to you about that. You said it was like, it'll ruin you for other cars.
I loved it.
It was just air ride and just super smooth.
It just glides down the road. It's, you know, like you feel important when you're driving it. It's like.
I get the same feeling in my Phaeton, and everyone just looks at me weird.
It's the same car,
I mean, like, is that a Passat,
that's
bro?
a big Jetta.
But it has the same suspension, so it's like, I know what you're talking about. I get in my my Passat with coilovers, and it's like, you know, and then you're like in the Fate and you're just like, it's just so nice. But yeah, those are cool cars. D3A8. It's on the bucket list for me.
Yeah, mine broke a timing guide, and then while it was sitting in my driveway, broke, and it decided to fill with water.
Yeah, how did that happen?
It had never leaked water the entire time that I owned it.
Sunroof drains?
I was just say Volkswagen sunroof
Must
drains.
have been sunroof, yeah. But then I went out to it one day, and it was stone dead and full of water, and I was like, okay.
Goodbye. Goodbye, my love.
This is where I throw it in.
Yeah. Do you still get B5s once in a while or no?
Rarely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean one? Any clean ones that show up?
The 1 or 2 that show up, you know, once a year are clean.
I was going to say the people that are bringing the dealer, they're going to be clean.
A4 or S4?
Generally A, but there was one. We don't see too many S4s anymore. There was one that there was a discontinued part that we couldn't get, and it was the only reason she didn't fix it because it was like a 300,000 mile, like original owner car.
Oh wow!
And she was just like, oh, and then she bought an S3.
Okay, so that's a pretty good.
I love those people because when I was at Seacoast, you had all the old Seacoast money, if you will, and these people would spend thousands keeping B5.5 Passats running.
You picked one up, right?
She loved her S4, and if the part was available, she's like, I would have kept it till, forever.
Yeah.
But
we have a couple first gen customers that are like that. 03, 04, they got, some of them have 30K, some of them have 150K, and you tell them it needs a couple $1,000s worth of work, and they're like, yep, go for it. Yep. And they don't care because they've had the car since new, or they love the car. And, but we can't get steering racks. We can't get keys. So if you lose your key, you have to call one of those like
the mobile
key makers, and they'll code it and do it. Yeah.
Really.
But it's
I had one yesterday. I was trying to program a new key fob on a Tiguan, and the old key fob worked and everything. But those keys, you program the fob and the key together.
Yep.
They must have had one of those keys. It was like an aftermarket key that a locksmith did, because I couldn't program that key. It wouldn't let me. Oh, wow. I could program the new key fob. So they left with just the new key fob, and the old one no longer worked. It was like, cool. Like
I
that accomplished nothing. I don't know what happened up front with that.
You went from one good key to one brand new good key.
Yes.
I've never seen an aftermarket key program for an Audi.
No.
Never.
They never work.
People try. They
like Toyotas and Hondas. That shit works.
Well, so there's a FASIT server in Germany. So on newer cars, it has to know the key serial number. So I don't know how these locksmiths do it.
Yeah, I don't either.
But it basically pings, and if it doesn't recognize that serial number, we actually sold a brand new key to a guy, and he never programmed it for like a year. And then he came in and wanted us to program it. It must have got wiped from the server because it hadn't been programmed in a certain amount of time. So we literally couldn't. We had to call Tech Line and get them involved.
Like the 05, 06 keys, you have to hold the button, hit the other one 3 times, release, and then the locks will go down, up.
Yep.
But you have to do it to every key that you own, because if you skip one, then that key no longer works.
Yeah.
So if the buttons don't work on the old key, and they did, or whatever, or if it started the car, now you basically deprogram that one.
Yeah.
And now you can't start the car with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So B5s. What about B7 RS4s? You see any of those?
Rarely.
Not really. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of those end up at Independence.
Pretty niche market car.
Yeah. What about, I'm trying to think of what else was a cool old Audi that he might see.
I mean, I feel like you'd probably, like, if I go back to like the B5.5 Passats, you like any C5 like A6s still come in
occasionally.
Yeah. Those
I was gonna say, I feel like the owners of those, it's kind of like the same deal. Like if they have one, they love it. They're going to spend the money to keep them going.
Build quality too. So our friend Andy just picked up a B5.5 yesterday, 180 4Motion Passat, right? And he's like, I think he paid like $6-7 grand for it, but it's like these cars. He could put 500,000 miles on that car and do a timing belt, and it's
When you reference the one that I bought off a customer at work, I was $100 because we offered him $100 on trade-in.
That's
and
crazy.
He was like, I cannot in good conscience let you send it to auction. So he came into the finance office and he looked at me and he was like, do you want it for $100? And I was like, absolutely. It was a 180 GLS manual front drive.
Yep.
He had a binder full of every single service he did on the car from the dealership and independent, like handwritten stuff of when like brakes and shocks were done and everything like that. It had like 198K on it.
Wow.
And I just drove it for 6 months because I was like, great, this is cool. And then I sold it to some kid for, I don't know, like $4 grand or something like that.
You don't get those opportunities, do you? We don't. For like buying cars that people, I mean, once in a while, maybe.
So if people don't want to fix them, what they do is they post it on the door and there's a silent auction, and you just
that's awesome.
You email the service manager your bid.
No kidding.
And if the customer accepts the highest bid, then you can buy the car.
Wow.
That's a good system.
Yeah,
I like that.
I wish we had that system.
Yeah.
As I got yelled at one time.
We implemented it about a year ago.
Well, okay.
That's smart because all of you, all the techs you work with are pretty savvy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always kind of be like, whoever looked at it, whoever like condemned it, had like first dibs.
First dibs, yep.
But they didn't want people like intentionally condemning vehicles.
Yeah.
So it's kind of opened it up to.
Yeah. You don't want to just price them out of the water.
Yeah, you don't be like, oh yeah, it needs an engine, and then like, oh yeah, I'll give you $500. Like,
yeah.
So it doesn't look good.
No, it definitely doesn't.
No,
well, that's what happened. That's what happened with me. I did a head job. I pulled the head off to be like, all right, you got 2 burnt valves, and they owed us $1,500 for the bill because they weren't going to do it. So we pushed it outside. Like weeks went by, and I was like, hey, like, can I contact the guy and like, I'll pay his bill and like buy the car off him. And my manager at the time was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, at least we'll get paid for it because the guy is not contacting us. We're calling him, nothing. So I get a hold of the guy and he's like, I want $2,000. So he wanted more. And I was like, I'll pay your bill and I'll give you $500. And he's like, all right, I'll do it. So I met him at work. I gave him the money. He gave me the title. Then my GM found out about it. He was pissed because he wanted the car to get traded in to buy something else. Like he thought I was like bypassing the system.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy was going to abandon the car here. We had 6 cars out back abandoned. All of them, one transmission, one they had work done and they just never came and picked it up. Others just dropped off on a tow truck and then we never heard from them. It's like they just wanted it out of their driveway. But they sat there for 3-4 years. They've been there since COVID, and he finally got rid of, I think, 5 out of the 6 last year.
Wow.
Finally said, all right, we're just towing them out of here. We don't care. But
it's crazy how dealerships are weird about that stuff. Like even when I was at Seco, we could buy the cheap stuff. We could buy like, those B5.5 Passats. We could buy, we took in like a $500 D3 A8 on trade that had like 220K on it or something like that, and it was beat. Could have done it. I ended up taking the wheels off of it for my C5 A6 at the time because they were flat 5s, and I was like, perfect. But yeah, the more expensive stuff, like there was one, Dan, I don't know if you remember this, but we had a CC that blew timing. And
it's right up Dan's alley.
Well, I was talking to Dan because I was like, could I have you do the timing, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up going to talk to the owner at the time, and I was like, hey, can I buy it for like $1,000 or something like that? Because it was just sitting there. I think we offered the guy $100 on trade or something like that to just junk it essentially. And they were like, no, because you could just fix it and sell it and make a bunch of money.
Well, why don't you fix
and I'm
it
like,
and sell it?
Yeah. Stupid.
That's the thing. They don't want to fix
no,
it.
And that's the thing. Not half of the stuff that went to auction or ended up getting junked. It's like still to this day, it like makes me cringe. Like clean B6 Passat wagons that went to auction because they blew, they popped timing or, of course, Tiguan's. I mean, every Mark 1 Tiguan in existence blew timing. Yeah, they all need turbos or blew timing. And,
sales doesn't want to pay to fix that.
No, sales doesn't want to pay to fix it.
Cuts into their profit.
But when you send those to auction, but when you send a car that doesn't run to auction, they get 0 for it.
Yeah, it was pretty much a guarantee you could get someone to basically pay scrap value for it to just rip it apart.
Yeah, we're not allowed to buy used cars off our lot unless it's been there for 90 days because they want to sell the car. So if I see something that comes in that I like, I can't buy it. I have to wait. It's kind of weird.
The problem with that was, though, is like we would all do that, and then the lot would end up being full of a bunch of shit boxes that we all bought. Like I got a free Saab convertible from one of my clients. He was like, "Oh, it runs."
I remember that.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, it runs," and then it shows up on a flatbed, and I'm like, "This fucking thing doesn't run."
It does not. You liar.
It never said it drove.
Yeah, and it sat on the lot for I think 3 years. And then like the winter when I ended up leaving, they were finally like, you need to get this thing out of here.
So Greg, when you guys are busy, what have you been seeing the most of, or what would you say like are like the most 3 common jobs that you've seen on like the newer Audi stuff? Are you doing like a lot of timing chains on like, are you seeing 3-liter supercharged like timing chain?
Not the supercharged. No. The turbocharged ones they've been developing piston slap.
Not good.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. And that's like your S4, the newer S4, the B9 S4.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't buy those.
Well,
or is it just few and far between.
I'd say, what's the cost?
Poor maintenance.
No, so from what we learned, it's all bank 2 that always gets a slap, and so that bank naturally just gets less oil splash during lubrication, and the piston squirters are commanded on only under heavy load.
Interesting.
So it's almost like if you drove the car hard, it wouldn't happen. But so we see it a lot more on like Q7s and like A6s, and
then
we do
so not
the older
S4s,
women that might be driving it, or the guy that just puts it around town.
There's now a software update to change the characteristics of the oil squirters.
Okay.
But,
yep. Interesting.
But yeah, no, that a lot of broken springs.
Yeah. We do a lot of that.
Suspension. Yeah.
Yep. Or do you do more engine stuff or more like suspension? Like, would you say, or it's pretty mixed? Like
maintenance.
A lot of maintenance, a lot of brakes, a lot of tires. Spring, suspension.
But I mean, once in a while, you're tearing apart an engine, or
yeah. Those jobs kind of go to certain people.
Yeah.
So they kind of dictate where that goes in the shop.
How's dispatch work?
My shop foreman is the dispatcher.
Okay.
So he's salary, and so he's there to help and hands out the work.
No. So if you guys get real busy, does he help? Is he like diagnose something, then it goes somewhere else?
Sometimes he'll do that, yeah. Or if like you get hung up, he'll come help you diagnose it, or take a second look at something. Or
we come in and jam out like an oil change.
He doesn't do that.
No, I wasn't sure for like
so much. No, he'll kind of give that to everybody else.
Yeah.
Do you guys have hourly techs?
We have a couple. Yep.
Do you guys how do you handle the EV stuff? Because I know from the Volkswagen side, it's pretty hard to be profitable flat rate on the electric stuff, because not only is it time consuming, but it's hard to get paid warranty on some of that stuff. Do you take on some of the EV stuff, or
I don't do the EV work. No.
Yeah. Is there a couple guys that do it, or?
Yeah. There's a couple guys that do it, and usually there's like there's like an extra bay or two, and like my shop foreman technically has a bay, so they'll drop the battery there.
Yep.
So that way when
cell replacement.
Yeah, if they're waiting for something to come in or something comes up, it doesn't tie up their actual bay.
Have you guys been like, so from the Volkswagen perspective, the recalls have been disastrous with the EV stuff. Anytime you go to do a software update, the car could be down for a month. Have you been running into that with Audi, or
we don't run into that? No, not with the EVs.
Okay.
Our model year 25s, there's a new Q5 and there's a new A5, and those have had a ton of software issues.
Yeah.
And so those are the ones that are really dragging us down with updates.
Okay. Gotcha.
And there's just these huge updates that take hours and hours.
Yep. Yeah, that's basically what happens with ours, but they brick a lot. They'll usually like brick the comfort module, and then it's a back order. And
I lost a radio on Friday.
Yeah.
They came in complaining their satellite radio has no ID and no reception. Yep. So I went and talked to the manager and was like, should I try to program this thing? He's like, yeah. So I sold the program and the radio shit out. When I was at work yesterday, I tried to recover it.
Yeah.
I did it like 3 times, did a battery reset. It just kept looping. And I was like, the radio technically worked, but now it's black with a loader screen. So I was like, I don't know what we're going to do on Monday.
New car fun.
Yeah. It wasn't even, it's a 2020 with 100K, and they are the second owner, just bought it like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And obviously they wanted to put satellite radio in it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fun one to discuss on Monday and be like, hey, by the way, you have no radio, and I don't know if we're going to eat it or not.
Greg, do you think that flat rate is a good system for technician pay?
Yes and no. It certainly can be. If you're capable and in a busy shop, yeah, it's great. But there's a lot of like some of our hourly guys, they work there for like a year and then they put them flat rate, and then they're making 27 hours a week, and they're like and they put them back to hourly. So
flip flop.
They did, yeah, a couple of them. So I don't. It's not. I'm not sure the coming generations are going to be ready for it or be able to, swing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it can get pretty rough sometimes.
Yeah.
You gotta when everything's production based. You really have to be. I eat too fast. And I know I do, because I'm always trying to get to like the next job. So like I feel like I need to be always moving. So like when I'm eating my lunch, I don't like relax.
Oh, I'm
because
the
I'm like,
complete opposite.
I
now.
got to eat this so I can do 4 more cars by the end of the day, so I can leave at 5 or 6 if I'm lucky, right? I don't know. It's just how I'm programmed, but it's weird. I think flat rate is just, yeah. I'm sure, if it, like you said, in a perfect environment when it's like there's plenty of work, the service writers are doing a great job selling jobs. There's plenty of volume. The cars are getting fixed. It's like it's a great system for people who are experienced. But there are times when you slow down, and then like this week, all of my work got crammed into 3 days. And it was like a whole week's worth of work in 3 days, because the first 2 days I did basically nothing. Like I was just kind of going through the motions. So yeah, I was just interested in your opinion on flat rate, because I know it can be pretty rough sometimes just working in that environment. So
yeah, no, definitely not easy all the time.
Yeah,
but it's pretty much how I've always been paid. So
yeah, I know.
Just kind of
get used to it.
Just get used to it.
You get used to it.
Say I've been almost flat rate for 20 years. You just
yeah,
you're so used to it that it is what it is. And
yeah,
you
just
make
like,
the best
oh,
of it.
like this week was only 40 hours. Oops. Oh well, like.
And that's the thing. You know at this point you take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
You might turn 100 hours one week, and then you might turn 40 the next. And it is what it is.
Yep. So we always have a little nest egg just waiting to,
Yep.
just in case.
All right. So you went over the 3-liter turbo in the A6, and you said the Q7.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's in the Q8. It's the same. And
be careful of those. What other engine transmissions would you avoid, or what Audi would you never own?
I mean, some of the older stuff, like a 3.2 A6 or like a 4.2 S4.
3.2, I feel like they get a bad rap.
I had a 3.2 Q5, and I never
had a 3.2 Q5. For some reason, the A6s break.
Oh, the Q5s were good, right?
For some reason, the A6s break timing guides.
Okay.
3.2s are kind of like 2.7s and 2.8s. They chug along. They never really break. They're horrible on gas. And they just leak oil.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's really the same thing.
I had 150K on it. I never had any issues. A couple coil packs. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Some reason the A6 would break timing guides, just like the 4.2 S4.
It's interesting how like different engines in different platforms do so differently, and it has to go back to the owners as well, and how the driving characteristics are. And
some of it might be maintenance.
Yeah.
So you think it's programming for that specific model too? Like, do you think the A6 might be?
I wouldn't be surprised if an A4 was tuned differently from an A6.
Yeah, the TIG ones, you see different failures than like the GTIs with the same.
And then you've
motors
also got, obviously different weights. I mean, obviously a 3.2 and an A6 or in an A3 is going to be less stressed than what it would be in an A6 or a Q5 or whatever it may be. But
yeah. You doing any shows this year? You going to Unity? Was pretty fun last year.
I'll definitely hit up Unity again. Hopefully I can get the GTI back together soon and
dust off.
I was going to say
for dust off. Hopefully,
you gonna take the silver one. You got to try.
As long as I get the manifold back and get it running. I went to the Mark III tank so I can just run a single in-tank pump.
Yeah,
rather than a transfer and an external.
Right.
So
yeah, I got a Mark III tank in my garage, just sitting there on I don't even know what it's sitting on. A set of wheels, just sitting in there. I picked it up last year for like $100. Yeah.
Ethan posted a photo today of like
I saw
4 Mark II fuel tanks.
I think there was more than that. I think there was like 6
anyone
of them.
want these? So those are completely different than the Mark III tanks.
Yeah. They're bigger too. The Mark III tanks hold a little more gas.
Yeah, I know the Mark II guys swapped the Mark III tank, and that has like just the standard fuel pump that goes into the tank with like the union nut.
You can get the upgraded in tank, so that way you're just running a single pump.
Yeah, that's better.
And then I just put a big filter where my original pump was underneath.
What do you think I should do with Adam's Rabbit for fueling on that?
I mean, I have a Walboro inline that I planned on using.
Yeah, I was thinking, because I think people use like I want to say like a Bosch.
Probably like an 044.
044. I guess they don't make those anymore.
So
I read that they were discontinued, which is not good.
the pump I had last year was just a Jegs equivalent, you know, a Jegs brand equivalent to an 044.
And it worked.
It worked. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's just fed right on the side of the tank, basically?
I had a factory transfer pump inside the tank.
Okay.
Just feeding that. So it would just pull through. Once it was pulling more than the
I mean, that's the same as
tank.
that Walboro, right? It's just a inline pump.
Yeah, just a larger inline pump.
Yeah.
Well, with that Rabbit though, is Adam running a stock tank?
I don't know. Whatever you put in it.
It had a stock tank in it when I got rid of it.
Yeah, I do believe it is a stock tank.
Which, by the way, the pickup tube is rotted, and if you're below quarter a tank and you take a hard right-hand corner, it would start to buck because it would run out of gas.
So you grab a Mark III tank.
You just added more to Dan's stock.
That's okay.
For next week now.
Well, Dan doesn't know because everything was lined underneath, right? The tank isn't the tank it's got rhino lined.
Yep, it's all undercoated.
I'm surprised he didn't go with a cell in the back.
We were talking about it, and that's still an option.
He's building like a full track car.
Yeah,
so
that we talked about a swirl pot and all that, and he wanted to do like a Willwood pedal setup and all that stuff, and I was like, well, let's just see what we're doing here, and we'll figure it out as we cross that bridge, because I still have a lot of parts I got to install. So I'm like, once I start digging into it, I can start crossing things off. But I have all of next month too. I'm not doing anything, and then May, I'm on vacation. I'm busy all of May. So I'm hoping between this week and then next month, I'll be able to get it done. But we'll see. I mean, hopefully it's not another 5 years.
Yeah.
Because it's got to get off my list.
So at least get it started by next month?
I'd like by the end of April to have it driving, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, no, I was curious because I've also heard of people using like a 92 Cabriolet. They use a lifter pump in those cars, and that would push fuel to another pump. So you could do that if you didn't want to change the tank, but I got to look into that a little more. I haven't really done a whole lot of
because I'm assuming
research.
It fits perfectly under there.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense if that's what people are using.
Right. Yeah, it was like a 92 Cabriolet. I think it was like the only year, or maybe it was like 90 through 92.
Yeah, probably 90, 93.
Hard to find them. But that's why I think maybe we'll just put a fuel cell in it.
It would definitely be the easier route.
Yeah. He doesn't have back seats.
It would fit the build. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all caged out and
right. Yeah. And I
wouldn't look out of place.
What do you guys think about running? So Tech 53 I picked up just to make it easy, all stainless braided brake lines. A whole kit. It came as a whole kit. They track test it. They say it works great
from front to back.
Literally from the master cylinder. We've got a brand new booster, Mark III booster.
I haven't decided on what I'm doing with mine. What'd that cost?
I don't remember.
I don't
remember. But Tech 53 makes great products, and they usually track test it because all those guys are track junkies, and they just, I mean, between BMWs and Mark 1 and 2 Volkswagens, they put. I thought it was weird. I'm like, stainless braided brake lines.
All the way back?
All the way
back. From the
back.
master to the caliper?
All four corners.
In one continuous piece?
Four, right?
Individual.
Four pieces, but yeah.
Yep. And they're cut to length so that,
The only thing I would be, because you need the, I'm drawing a blank of what is the
proportioning valves. So they sell those and they thread right onto the master.
Okay, so that's what I was, that's the only thing I'd be curious about.
They're like the old, I think the old 16 valve Scirocco's had them right off the masters, and they were like these thread them. I don't know. I'll post pictures of it as I get into that this week.
Mark 2s with drum brakes had those two on the master. Those little like shotgun.
Yeah, like a little
bullet style.
Yep.
Okay.
That does have a disc conversion, so
I'll have to look at it next time.
And I have a full Willwood big brake kit for it.
I mean, it used to have a prop valve mounted right in front of the seat.
It did. We were talking about that. Was it last episode?
I think so.
Yeah, we were saying.
So,
oh no, it was with Tim because you could take the knob and turn it.
Oh, and he hit it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it was stupid to have it under the car.
Yeah, because you can't do anything with it.
Right.
I mean, with the single piece line like that, there is less chances for leaks.
Yeah.
Where you're not going hard line to soft line to hard line to soft line.
Right.
Yeah.
It's literally just one shot.
I mean, that's one benefit.
Yeah, I'm going to have to definitely look into it. But that's like that and exhaust and something else are like the last thing on the list. I'm not doing anything.
It's always the last 10% that takes the longest. But, we'll see. You got anything else planned for any other projects or?
Well, I'm gonna pull the motor out of the white GTI.
Yep.
The 2.1 stroker 16 valve that's in there now. So, kind of an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna take the BPY out of my Mark V GLI.
Hell yeah.
And swap that in.
Is it Dave at TDC Shop that sells the whole kit?
He sells a harness and I think a tune or.
I know he had one.
Yeah,
he was selling it.
He had that Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be a fun. I like the BPY engine.
Yeah, and my Mark V, it's like mechanically perfect, but it lived its life in New Hampshire and then Michigan and then back in New Hampshire.
So it's
doors,
crusty.
rockers, fenders.
It's crusty.
Is that the blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it night blue or is it laser blue?
Laser.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Sucks,
cool.
dude.
Like
Sucks.
Mike just came.
but it's just
It's rusty
it's
though.
crusty. It's crusty. So it's like, well, like
We all know I have a soft spot for Mark V's.
It's a cool color.
well, if you want a shell after I pull the motor.
A rusty shell. Shauna would love that in the driveway.
Yeah. And that and I got a Jetta shell from Ethan.
Yep.
are you the one that bought that? Like what? 2 months ago? 3 months ago?
Just before winter. He wanted it out of his yard before winter, the white one.
So I was over there and I got a hatch from him within like a day or two of that because I think it was sitting out the front of his driveway.
Yeah.
And I think you came like the next day or the day after.
He delivered it.
Oh, did he? All
Yeah.
right. I remember it leaving. I remember him talking about it. I assumed you came and got it.
Yeah,
That's
no, it's an 88, no sun, 89, no sunroof, but it's got power windows, power mirrors, power locks. Interior was immaculate. The trans was blown and half the motor's missing, but
You don't need that?
I don't need that. I have a 12L VR6 drivetrain sitting in my garage. Came out of Tony Lee's GTI.
Oh shit.
From back in the day.
Wow. Tony Lee. Haven't heard that name in a long time.
So yeah, I have that. So I was like, oh, shell, motor. I'll just put this in there.
That's awesome. That's
That's
a good
cool.
swap.
Yeah.
Straight
can't go
12
wrong
valve.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a great. Yeah, that's a good.
Good
Mark
daily
II 12
stuff
valve
it in.
would be. Yeah.
NA.
There was actually a nice one for sale recently. I saw it was red. I think it was like $8,000, and it was like it had Recaros and everything. I know you're not a 4-door guy, but
yeah.
Jetta coupe.
If it's a Jetta, it's
I mean, a
fine
Jetta
for
coupe,
4-door.
yeah,
Jetta
I'm in.
coupe's pretty
But
sweet. Yeah.
I'm not trying to buy another Mark II.
I've never owned a Mark II.
No,
It's the weirdest thing, right? I've owned Mark Ones,
should
I've
get one.
owned Mark Threes, Fours,
I've owned a Mark
5s.
1 and 3s, and I don't know. I just love the 2s.
1,
Yeah.
2,
It's always
3,
been.
4, 5, 6. Never owned a 7 or an 8.
Actually, never owned a Mark V. Now that I'm thinking of it, I don't think.
I've never owned a 4.
I've never owned a GTI.
What? Oh my god!
I've always had GLIs.
Yeah.
My second car was a Jetta.
Yeah, the only GTI was Shauna's. She had her.
You had a Golf
She had her
R.
Mark V.
You had a
I did have a
Golf
Golf R. I did have a Golf
That
R.
counts.
That
counts.
Sort of a GTI.
That counts.
Yeah.
Well, no, you wouldn't like it because it was a 4.
Yeah, it was a 4-door, but it counts.
But it was a Mark 7. I mean, I didn't have a choice.
So, Greg, do you think that the quality of Audi? So, I've been reading a lot lately that people are just pissed off about the fact that they don't have buttons, just like the Volkswagens. They don't have buttons. The screens are too big. They feel cheaper. Even the keys are cheaper. Everything just seems a little like the quality's not great.
Yeah, but I don't think that's unique to Audi. You
It's just
see
yeah.
every vehicle is just a large curved screen now for the
Yeah.
dash, and they got away from buttons, but now I think people are missing them, and they're kind of distracted trying to find a button on their HVAC panel where before they could just reach down and turn a knob.
I hate the haptic stuff. The little,
Mhm.
and they always seem to be problematic on the Volkswagen. So it's like,
Yeah, you used to be able to just kind of reach over, corner your eye, and you
Yeah,
could do
you
everything.
like volume knob, but
Yeah.
now it's like where's,
I like the simple.
where's the bar to slide?
I like the simple setup. Like it doesn't need to be crazy with like all this, like I couldn't reset a tire light yesterday because of the screen I actually had to replace the screen, but you couldn't just reset the tire light because the screen was, like it wasn't working. It's just annoying. But yeah, I had heard, especially from some of the other Audi techs that I know, they were like saying that even just the keys are kind of cheaper, and like some of the stuff is just like it just doesn't feel as elegant. Like
I don't know if the keys are cheaper, but they changed the button pattern So now when I go to lock it, I always open the trunk, and it just
Just why did you change that?
Yeah.
They put them in the wrong order.
Yeah, they put them in the wrong order.
Yeah.
And they made the battery cover kind of tricky to get off too, to change the key battery. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. Big thing for me, I've noticed like interior quality has gone to absolute shit and like overall fit and finish.
Yeah.
Just because it's all like the harder plastics now versus
shiny
all
plastics.
the soft, all the soft touch and everything like that. Like just the fit and finish is not there.
Yeah. So did you, I think you told me recently. So Greg used to race 3-wheelers, which is insane. For a long time, right?
Yeah. For a few years we did a dirt flat track, and then we did an indoor ice circuit in the winter.
Indoor?
Yep.
Where's that?
It was at hockey rinks at various
okay.
stadiums. Closest one to here was probably Portland, Maine, or Kingston, Rhode Island, about the same distance.
Yep.
But yeah, so it was a hockey rink, but then they hay bale it, for the outside. So, I mean, it's a very small course. So it was really just an entertainment show, less,
something to do.
Yeah. And
you drifting?
Yeah. That's you're on ice. Just,
Do you stud the tires? Or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a race bike built? Like, did you build a race specific bike for
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one specifically that I raced. It was a 85 200X, and then it had an engine out of a 2008 CRF 230, the other dirt bike.
Nice.
And lowered, widened, all that.
But you had injured yourself.
Yep, on a different 3-wheeler, I had a peg break off, and I rode over my foot and broke my ankle. And then about a year later, I hurt my knee, not on a 3-wheeler, at work. I tore the meniscus in my right knee, and then after that, I was like, okay, I'm getting too old to do this. I can't race anymore. I have to work.
My butthole puckered when you said you ran your foot over.
Oh yeah.
They discontinued 3-wheelers for a reason.
Right off?
No, I was able to hold myself up on the bars and just kind of luckily I wasn't going too fast, but it just folded my ankle just right under the tire.
I love that little 3-wheeler with the slick tires.
Oh yeah!
At his wedding party, I was flying around on this thing. It was so fun. I was shit faced. It was.
It's a 70, so
I didn't hit anybody.
This big, but it's got a 140 motor in it.
Yeah,
it was. So, I was getting pretty obnoxious.
I had a 50 growing up. I had whatever little Yamaha 50 3-wheeler growing up.
Yeah.
I kind of want to build one of those, dude.
You should.
Yeah. How much? What was the total investment on that?
Oh, geez. I mean, I think I bought the bike for like $300, and then the whole motor kit.
Like a Chinese motor, right?
Yeah. It's just a Chinese motor. They're like $600.
Yeah.
For the whole kit.
The thing is so fun, and it's these tiny little wheels.
We could build a track around your 60x60.
I was thinking, I'm like, but the only thing is Kim would be like, the fucking grass, so I'd have to.
Well, the slicks don't really tear up the grass.
That's
though.
That's
why I put their little Hoosier go-kart tires.
Okay.
Just bail off the gardens and you'll be fine.
No, there's
put
no
hay bales
there's no
around
grass
the gardens.
around the barn.
Kim's working on creating the entire backyard as a garden. We were going to do a gazebo back there, and now she's like, I kind of want to make that a garden. Did you see this morning? She was like out there yelling at bunny rabbits and stuff.
She's like, I finally saw it in person.
It's getting wild. She's like, yeah. She was like, there's a rabbit out there. I'm like, yeah, it's where we live in New Hampshire.
She's gonna get a BB gun.
I don't think she'd go to that extent, but she did. Okay, so
she wanted to trap them, right?
She's already reached out to like this. I don't know. They have basically they set you up with a feral barn cat.
Yep.
They're like these cats that are not friendly, and basically they ship them to you, and then you put them in like a shed or something or a barn. So you have to have like a heated space. So we were thinking the shed, we have a big shed. We're going to heat it. And then, you put a space in there so they can get in and out. You give them water and food. But we're all set up. When we get back from vacation in May, we're going to have like this wild cat that like you can't pet. And it's going to like take care of the bunny rabbits and the mice and chipmunks.
Whatever else is going to eat your...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think rabbits are so much the problem. But,
I don't.
But mice, mice and chipmunks.
So for her
they
garden,
can be
they'll chew the flowers.
Yeah,
and
so
go after the vegetables and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
We have rabbits all around here, and the front bush in the corner over here. over the winter, they've eaten everything a foot up all the way around it. So like when you go outside, just take a peek to the left and you'll see it. It's bone dry, but then there's everything above it. It's funny.
Yeah, Kim's going to be Elmer Fudd pretty soon. It's going to be, she's going to get the hat. Maybe I should get her the hat.
That should get her a hat.
That'd be pretty
Definitely
cool. She already has a shotgun. She hasn't shot it yet, but
Bunny's going to have a bad day.
I can't condone that type of behavior. I really like rabbits, man. I like seeing them. Like, yeah, I want to get a rabbit tattoo. I'm like, you're not killing a rabbit. I don't think she'd kill it. I don't think
Kim likes her garden better than a rabbit.
She does like her gardening. Yeah. So I don't know about the 3-wheeler. We'll see. Maybe I'll just bring it home one day
and just sit back home, storing it for Greg
with everything else.
Storing it for Greg. Yeah,
he's got a race next
with all
week.
The garden talk coming soon to the Car House channel, the 3 Petals podcast.
Yeah.
with the wives of 3 Petals.
They want to start a garden podcast.
Yeah. She's definitely into gardening.
Yep. Her.
You guys garden at all?
A couple of vegetables,
Nice.
A couple herbs and vegetables, but
it's good.
Nothing the size of your guys' garden.
I know.
But
Shauna's already planning because you don't know, but we're looking for a new house with land, and
she wants a big
already starting like this is what I'm going to do. This is where it's going to go.
You're
going to
get chickens.
Yeah. I told her, I was like, she wants goats, and I told her flat out. I was like, goats, fine. Chickens, fine. One of those fuckers end up on top of one of the cars. We're having goat curry for dinner, and there's going to be fried chicken.
Right? I can't do the animals, the farm animals and stuff.
No.
Give me a wild cat. That's fine. I'm drawing the line there.
I drink a beer on the deck with a goat. What's it going to
do? Right?
Going to headbutt it right out of your hand.
You guys must see some crazy animals. Do you have like a camera set up or anything? We get deer. We get all
we have cameras. Yeah, we have right now. There's probably like 15 turkeys in my yard every day. It's annoying.
So funny.
We got
straight up dinosaurs.
We get a group around here that migrate like within 5 to 10 blocks.
They must be tough because they survive.
They just dig up the lawn though. Is my issue with them.
Yeah.
They make brown spots and then it's dirt for the summer.
Right.
But yeah, no. I mean, I've seen bear, moose, deer. Bobcat.
Yep.
Yeah, she almost got mauled by some bears in the backyard once.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Well,
brown bears?
She heard some noise and she walked over to, the edge of the property is a pretty significant drop. And she walked over there and turned out she was about 20 feet away from a bear cub.
Oh.
And then she looks and she sees another bear cub. And then she looks a little off in the distance and there's Mama Bear.
Not happy.
Well, she wasn't angry because Jenna just like stopped and was like, "Oh no," and just kind of like, as she's taking video, slowly backing up. She just wanted some documentation as to how she died.
Getting mauled.
Yeah. So yeah, luckily the cubs just kind of went away, and but yeah, if that bear was upset, she never would have got to the house in time.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like it when you're near the cubs.
No. That's the one thing you don't mess with Mama Bear and the cubs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my kids, if they saw a bear, they'd be like, "Ooh,
big kitty."
Yep. Al, you got anything?
No, I'm pretty good.
I think.
I've got a random question. This is just for
Mike's
the group, not anything specific. So, one of my coworkers currently has an Atlas for the family car, getting rid of his wife's car to take the Atlas, and he's looking to spend 15 grand or less on a decent daily. I've been sending him stuff. He's like, he was a truck guy for a while. He's had a bunch of random stuff, but like, I threw out some things like Al would approve, like a Lexus GS or like something like that, because like reliable 15 grand. We all know 15 grand Volkswagens and Audis can be
real dice move.
A real dice move.
It's,
so
hit or miss.
So
Dan's probably got a Passat for sale.
So he's gonna have a CC for sale soon.
I'll take 15 for that.
But he started sending me Mark 7 GTIs.
Probably get 2 or 3.
I was thinking Mark 7 GTI.
So because he sent me one earlier, it was a
all
Mark
track?
It was a Mark 6. So I've sent him all tracks, but he would only want a manual, which then at that point you're jumping your price range. all track market's weird because like you've got like your like grandmas that bought all tracks because it was a wagon and all-wheel drive, and then you have like, you know, your everyday people that are just like, oh, whatever, it's just a golf wagon. But then you've got people like us that are like, oh, well, it's the last all-wheel drive wagon Volkswagen made.
Yep.
And then people are paying you know, stupid money for them. Like, you know, I saw one the other day. It was a manual SEL with like 60,000 miles. It's sold on Bring a Trailer for like 34 grand or something like that.
Was it like a perfect color combo? Like
it was low. Wasn't it low miles too?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like 50 or 60,000 miles. It was Great Falls Green. I can't remember if it had the Marrakesh interior or not, because obviously that's like the holy grail if you've got a manual SEL with the Marrakesh. But I don't know. Would you agree with a Mark 7 GTI?
I think Mark 7 GTIs are very reliable. They don't have timing chain issues. The water pumps leak, accessory brackets leak. You know, you don't really see too many turbo issues. I mean, I have friends who have had 250,000 on them with, you know, mods, and they just keep going.
Like,
you know,
Hulso bought that Mark 7 GTI, and yeah, he did a clutch and something else.
We did a clutch, and we did, I think, timings.
Yeah.
No, I don't even think we did timing.
I think you checked it.
I think that's the thing. Like, I tell people, I'm like, the guides are completely different. I mean, you have like just a way better chain setup, and they just don't stretch as much. So I usually check the values, and they're pretty good. I would say that's a pretty solid buy. I always, especially with Audi too, always do a pre-purchase inspection.
Yeah.
Call Greg. Like
Zach, are you listening? I know you. I know you listen. I'll give him props. He's listened to every episode so far, but
it's too bad. We just sold a 19 GTI with like 38,000 miles, manual leather. I think it'd be a 7.5, wouldn't it? If it's a 19.
Yep. Yeah, 7.5. Yeah, nice looking.
It was like 20 grand.
Yeah. I just don't understand why people don't do a pre-purchase inspection. It's going to cost you a lot more once you own it.
Yeah.
And it's like
costs you like $200. You can do it anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. You show up. And anybody ever's like, what do you think about this car? I say, bring it to the local Audi dealership and have them do a full write-up as to what.
And you tell them, be like, I plan on purchasing it, and they'll go that extra and check everything.
The guy out in Oregon that bought my all-track.
Yeah, we did.
I brought it to Dan's house, and we put it up on the lift, and Dan was FaceTiming with the guy, showing him the whole car and everything.
That was a
great.
That was a nice car. That was a nice car.
Well, yeah, because you had just done.
We had
the Bilstein B8s, the sway bar, the 40K. You just did everything to that car, so it was perfect.
Yeah, those are good cars. I mean, Allie, Shane's wife.
Yep.
The reason why we didn't podcast on Friday is because I broke a transmission bolt in the DSG pan, and then had to drill it out. The transmission, I broke a bolt in the actual DSG transmission, so I was at work late dealing with that. But hers has 220 on it or something like that, and it's like
that's their everyday car that they take
up until about 200,000. She told me that she pretty much just did brakes, tires, and oil changes. So then I got it, and we did spark plugs. I think it needed an injector harness, and like we did some other stuff like a decarb, but I mean, like she said, she has a friend that has one with 300K. It's like,
what's that? What is it? A 1.8? What motor?
Yeah, it's a
the all-track for the 1.8.
Yeah, but it's like your standard like TSI engine. It's just better than the previous generation of TSI motors. But yeah, no, that's what I would. That's that's what I know. So that's like as far as when people ask me like, well, what'd you buy if you didn't buy a Volkswagen or Audi? I like don't know what to tell them, because I'm like, I don't know. Because I don't drive anything else, because I don't want to drive something I can't fix. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'd lean at Toyota. Honda.
Toyota or Honda. Yeah, but I don't know. Are the new ones reliable?
No, the newer stuff. No, the newer stuff is not great. The newer stuff's not great. It's primarily the older, the older stuff that's, and not even really older, but like, as they're all getting into, I mean, Toyota was archaic for years in terms of technology. I mean, shit, my 21 4Runner still had a 4-liter V6 with a 5-speed automatic.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends that work at Lexus, and I know they're doing long blocks now on whatever that newer V6 motor that they have, the hybrid motor.
Yeah.
They're popping.
Yeah, but if you go to the old 3.5s and stuff like that, I mean, they're bulletproof. You can run those things probably 20,000 mile, 25,000 mile oil change intervals, and you'll still get 450,000 miles out of the motor.
Tell him to get a Nissan Altima.
Oh yes,
It'll come with a bashed up rear bumper.
pre-damage with the repo man looking for it.
People just drive the shit out of those things, dude.
Scary.
I told you when I went down to New Jersey last week for work, literally driving down the Garden State Parkway, I'm avoiding Altimas and Rogues like it's no one's business, because every single one has one hubcap on it, bumpers hanging off, every panel smashed in.
Oh yeah,
dude, were you there at the Concord Cars and Coffee where the guy with the Nissan Murano convertible?
Oh my god,
he was like showing it off. He had like a sign and everything. He was sitting next to it.
You're laughing. When we were going back and I was sending him marketplace finds, I sent him a Murano convertible. There's one on Marketplace right now, like $7,600 a burgundy one. And I'm like,
that has to be the
cheap.
Same one that goes to the Target car show.
It's gotta be. Was it like orange?
It's like a beige color.
I forget. I can't remember exactly what color it was, but the guy was like, I was like, is this guy serious? Is this a joke? He was proud of it.
I mean,
they're rare.
They were at the forefront of it. I mean, Land Rover was making the Evoque convertible for a while. Volkswagen in Europe makes the T-Roc convertible.
Yeah. I don't know, man. SUV convertibles.
Yeah,
it's
weird.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look. And that car especially is just the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
No, it's disgusting.
Oh, the teal ones. Like the teal ones with the beige tops and the beige interiors.
Honestly, the Rogues are ugly too. I hate the Rogue. I hate crossovers though.
The Rogue is the one with the two round lights, right?
No, you're thinking of the Juke.
That's the Juke.
The Juke is also ugly.
The Juke was the worst.
Juke's disgusting.
I will never forget. So you guys know my buddy John. John Dumay.
Yeah.
So he had a Mark 6 GTI that he bought from me when I was working at Volkswagen. It was a 2012 red two-door manual that had like 28,000 miles on it or something like that. So he had that, and he was moving out to Colorado, and he calls me and he was like, he's like, I'm in the area. He's like, I'm going to stop by. And I was still at my parents' house. So he shows up in a black Juke. Traded in his GTI for a black Juke.
Wow.
And I just remember I like looked at him and I was like, oh my God. And then my dad got home from work, came out because we were just like sitting on the deck, and he comes out and he's like, who the fuck bought a Nissan Juke?
You're like, dude.
I mean, he redeemed himself. He bought manual all-track from me.
Oh,
white on Marrakesh.
Nice.
Yeah, he bought that. But
that's a cool color.
Yeah, it was an S too. White on Marrakesh S manual.
Nice.
Now he has a WRX. Sorry, John, I will never condone that purchase.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if those Nissan Murano convertibles will ever be worth anything, honestly. Like, I know they're rare. Was it you that told me that there's like an owners group, like a Facebook group?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Oh yeah, it's one of those cars.
I don't know if I told you.
Yeah,
I honestly thought it was you. Somebody told me.
Greg, are you hunting Murano convertibles?
He's a closet Murano guy. He has one.
He created the Facebook group.
He doesn't want to tell us, but his new project car is a Murano convertible.
Well, do you want to? So what do we usually do to wrap up?
Ask him a few
cars.
questions and
he's got a couple.
Have you listened?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dream car, old and new. Like, what would you buy?
I don't like anything new.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
if I had to, it would probably be a Porsche.
Yeah.
You know, some variant of the 911.
Yeah.
Older car, honestly, like my GTI. Mark II GTI. Sure, I would love to find a limited, but they didn't make very many of those.
Was that the one with like the Volkswagen Motorsports badge
with
on
the
it?
blue badge? They were all-wheel drive G60 16 valve.
Super cool.
Yeah,
I just saw a thing on that.
Yeah, that's like
there's like 100 of them though, right?
Something. Yeah,
European model only.
Yeah. I think it was in the 80s as to how many they made.
Volkswagen has one in their classic like
museum.
Like it's not even a museum, it's a garage. Okay. Literally. I saw a thing Jamie Orr did the other day, and it was like they toured it, but they had one and he explained the whole car.
It's
and
like
it was just super
the
special.
rarest one. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a golf rally, but it looked like
without the rally body, right?
Without wide body, and it was a 16 valve, not an 8 valve.
Super cool.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it was really neat. And the only thing that gave it away really was the VW Motorsport.
It had like
badge.
a baby blue, trim and Volkswagen Motorsport badge.
Yeah, pretty neat.
Yeah.
GTI, 2-door or 4-door?
2.
Yeah, he's in the same generation I am.
2-door GTI. Yeah, 4-door is fine for a Jetta, or but
yeah, no such thing. Boxy 80s German. This might not apply to you, but or 90s Japanese tuner.
Boxy's German.
Yeah,
of course.
Rear wheel drive, all wheel drive.
All.
I wasn't sure where you'd go because of what was his name?
Oh, Rich
or Brian.
Yeah, Rich.
Yeah.
Rich's
Two
rabbit.
maniacs.
All-wheel drive would just be too complicated with those builds.
He's doing an all-wheel drive truck though.
Truck.
The Volkswagen truck. Yeah.
07K with a small turbo, all-wheel drive.
Yep.
In a
TT
truck.
drivetrain.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I saw he posted some photos the other day. He bought it from Texas, so it was like supposed to be like a clean.
Sight unseen out of Texas, I might add.
It was not clean.
It was. They never
it was
are.
so rusty.
It was worse than cars I've seen up here.
Yeah, so he posted a photo. He had to like reconstruct the whole inner fender well, and plus he's doing is he doing the TT motor mounts and stuff?
Those are just like universal pendulum mounts.
Okay,
and he's just
gotcha.
making his own brackets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like he was doing some fab work on the frame rails and everything for that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Should
sight
be.
unseen's tough. That's why I'm scared to buy a car.
It looked really good in the pictures.
Yeah.
Like you looked underneath, it looked really good. But when he got it,
Then you get it on a lift and you start poking around.
Yeah, and then you start cutting into, and you realize that the whole one whole bedside's Bondo, and and it's all rotted out and patched up, but
I bought my RS4 from California sight unseen. I did
Yeah, you've done it a bunch of times.
Well,
and
so
you're braver than
I got a
am.
week out of it before it needed a clutch.
Yeah.
The guy was like, "Oh yeah, it drives great." I'm like, "How's the clutch?" He's like, "It's great." And then literally I'm just trying to shift and the pressure plate wasn't like the pedal wouldn't return, and I'm like,
Not so great.
Yep. So that was cool.
There any car trends that you one you love and one you hate?
I mean, I think it's safe to say we all hate crackle tunes.
Yeah.
But
Camber,
crackle tunes, super stretch tires. Back when people used to do the air ride and the fender would fall between the tire and the rim and
No, I mean I've never done
not
that.
super stretched.
Like,
You
no
didn't do
thanks on
anything
that one.
ignorant. It was pretty clean.
I mean, I did a couple of 225 35s on a 10 and a half.
Yep.
yeah.
It's a dirty game.
And then you air out and you end up with the bacon fender.
Been there too.
It's
That was my forte.
Bacon fender.
Not it's been a long time. It's been 10 years since I've done that, but yeah, that was my forte. Nothing like taking a brand new car and
ruining it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Destroying
Melting
it.
the paint off the rear quarters and
Is there a trend you like?
A trend I like. I don't really know about that one.
Like I'm fully into 80s body kits right
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love that, but I guess I figured that wasn't a current trend.
No, it's really not.
It's kinda
But I
coming
mean,
back,
it's kind of
Comes back
when
here
we
and there, I guess.
when we went down to Roots, fucking
Probably saw a bunch of that. Yeah.
so many body kits on Mark
Yeah.
1s, 2s.
Because it's hard to find them.
Yeah.
So if you can find it, it's cool. I'll build a whole car around
There's
it.
a company in Europe, or it is a company, but they started off selling European parts and shipping them to the US. And so I bought steering wheels and mono wipers and whatever, but they must have gotten their hands on a new old stock. Not Nathel. I'm drawing a blank. What's the hood scoop? The
Kami?
body kits.
Yeah.
So they're reproducing them and selling them as new. So they must have
Found
spent the
molds.
money.
They must have found one and made a mold.
They made a mold out of
cool.
it, and you can go it, and it's not crazy. Like $2,000. I mean, granted, you got to get shipped here and the taxes and whatever, but it's just cool that somebody's actually reproducing them.
I have.
I would definitely like to see more of those cars and kits around, with things like that.
Yeah.
It took me 5 years to find the Koenigsegger.
Yeah,
wide
you were
body
looking
kit
for
my
something
Mark
very
IV.
specific.
Well, I wanted the VW Motorsport. I wanted to do a Golf 4 kit car, which was VW Motorsport's Golf race car, which had a 20 valve built Motorsports engine in it, and it was a wide body Mark IV. But they threw away the molds. Supposedly, there was a guy. Well, so you guys know the Dahlbach racing car, the black Mark IV GTI.
The black Mark IV.
Yeah,
Like a 5-cylinder.
Yeah.
It had like 4 fuel pumps.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen the video where he's just hammering it on the track and then all of a sudden just smashes the lip right off over one of the curbs. That was a Gulf 4 kit car body that they got like the fenders and the arches and everything from them, and I think it was Buildin Motorsports sold those wide bodies. But I even emailed the team emails that I found on VW Motorsports, like official, there was like documents online. I emailed the guys to see if anybody still had the same email. Never got any. But I did find the Koenigsegger one, which was the other wide body that you could get. But I ended up, I think I spent like $1,200 to $1,500, but it was brand new in box in Canada. And I was like, I gotta buy it. And it's been sitting in my basement for 5 years.
They got rid of all the fun stuff. Like even with the Mark Vs, like you had the Thunder Bunny kits, you could get all the like the factory Votex kits and all that stuff. I mean, that stuff's all gone. I mean, I remember my Mark V, I had the GTI Edition 30 front lip on it. And you probably can't get that stuff anymore.
No.
Those
they,
days are
they're very
long
low
gone.
production.
Yeah.
All the ABD stuff that they started doing.
The VW Motorsports stuff, though, like that, even like the Mark II stuff, like all of that stuff was so cool. But like if you come across any parts from them, like you're paying like astronomical amount of money. Like I think I saw there was a long block for sale from like it was Audi, but it was like an Audi. It was like their not the Coupe Quattro, but like their actual, like, what was the short wheelbase? The Audi Quattro, I think, is like their race car.
Yeah.
But they homologated, like they built them for was it
S1?
Was it the S1? Yeah, I don't know, but either way, it was an engine for one of those cars, brand new in box, $100,000. I was like, holy shit, dude, that's crazy. But yeah, anyways, the body kits are cool if you can find them.
Yep.
That's a good trend.
We'll do one more. Favorite motor?
Whew. I mean, personally, I've always loved the 16 valves.
I figured that's where you're
they're
gonna
both
go.
60 valve right now, but I mean, like that motor you were just talking about, you know, like the 5-cylinder 20 valve turbo. That's an incredible motor.
Yeah. The one in the Dahlbach.
Yeah.
Like that
was like 1,000 horsepower. And it just would just pass everything.
Those are great. Those are great motors. The 20 valve 5-cylinders. Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff. Cool.
They ruled the Group B rally back in the day with that motor.
Yeah.
Like
they sounded amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of Audi's old race cars sound amazing.
Yeah, those 5-cylinders sound great.
So good. So good. But
don't botch the outro, Al.
Yeah, not like I did the intro. I had to start the intro again. They wanted me to let it run. That's why we were talking in the middle of it. But all right, that'll wrap it up. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music, Pocket Cast. Follow us on Instagram, 3 Pedals Podcast, Carhouse. You can follow us at Capone, Mike at send__ it, and Dan J. Pendleton. I'm going to tag us all in the description, and 3pedalspodcast.com and carhouse.com. And we'll see you next week.
thanks, Greg.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.